The tension in the hip-hop world just hit an entirely new level. Social media is exploding, fans are panicking, and every news outlet is scrambling to cover what just went down. Reports are coming in that the FBI has officially confronted Lil Durk in connection to a shocking breakthrough in the King Von case, and the implications are sending shockwaves through the streets and online communities alike. This isn't just another rumor or clickbait headline. Sources claim that investigators have uncovered new evidence that directly ties Lil Durk to developments that many thought were long buried. Fans are reacting in real time, with threads on Twitter exploding, TikTok clips going viral, and debates raging across Instagram. People are questioning, what does this mean for Lil Durk? Is the King Von case about to take a dramatic turn? And how deep does this investigation really go? According to insiders, the confrontation was intense. Agents reportedly showed up with documents, evidence, and statements that Durk's team hadn't anticipated. Allegedly, the meeting wasn't just about questioning. It was a direct warning, a final chance to provide clarity before potential legal consequences escalated. Fans online are dissecting every snippet, analyzing every leaked detail, and debating what Lil Durk's next move will be. Meanwhile, speculation about the King Von breakthrough is rampant. Some claim it involves previously undisclosed communication. Others hint at connections to rival crews and street-level conflicts. The mix of real-world investigation and online hysteria is creating a storm of conspiracy theories, memes, and viral debates. People are obsessively tracking every post, every statement, every cryptic lyric, trying to decipher if Durk knew more than he let on, or if he's truly facing the full weight of the law. The streets are buzzing. The internet is melting, and hip-hop fans everywhere are holding their breath. Every angle of this story feels like it could be the next headline in a real-life thriller, with the FBI officially stepping in. This situation is no longer just a narrative. It's a full-blown investigation that could change the game entirely. The night was tense, the air thick with anticipation, and the streets of Chicago were buzzing like never before. Word had leaked through trusted sources and social media insiders that the FBI was finally confronting Lil Durk over new developments in the King Von case. For months, fans had speculated about hidden connections, secret communications, and the shadowy world behind the headlines. But now, the stakes had escalated to a level few expected. Overnight, the atmosphere online transformed into chaos. Twitter threads exploded with theories. TikTok clips dissected every nuance of past videos, and Instagram pages flooded with speculative commentary. Everyone was asking the same question: what does this breakthrough really mean, and how far does it reach? Insiders report that the FBI's involvement was no ordinary visit. This wasn't a routine questioning session. It was a direct, high-stakes confrontation, a moment where legal pressure collided with the glare of public attention. Agents allegedly arrived equipped with newly discovered evidence, including documents, phone records, and other materials that could potentially link Lil Durk to key moments surrounding King Von's final days. According to sources close to Durk, the initial shock was palpable. His team, who had prepared for months of media speculation, now faced the chilling reality of federal scrutiny. For a man used to navigating the complexities of street politics and public image, this was a new battlefield entirely. Reports suggest that the meeting began calmly, almost deceptively so. Lil Durk entered the room, flanked by attorneys and close associates, projecting a sense of confidence and control. But insiders note that beneath that composed exterior, tension ran high. Agents laid out evidence that hadn't been previously disclosed to the public, and the gravity of the situation became clear. Each question, each document, each line of questioning felt like it carried potential consequences that could reshape the narrative around Lil Durk and King Von alike. Witnesses and legal experts following the story note that moments like these often determine not only legal outcomes, but also public perception. Meanwhile, fans online were dissecting every known interaction, lyric, and social media post from Lil Durk and his associates. Many theorized that clues to the FBI's breakthrough had been hiding in plain sight. Cryptic messages, timing of releases, and unexplained absences that had now taken on new significance. Twitter became a hive of speculation, with thousands of users attempting to piece together the puzzle. Some argued that Durk had insider knowledge and was already several steps ahead, while others debated whether this confrontation could mark the beginning of a larger legal and cultural storm. The streets of Chicago mirrored this chaos. Conversations in corner stores, car rides, and local hangouts revolved around the potential implications as fans, friends, and community members tried to parse fact from rumor. Inside the meeting, the pressure reportedly intensified. Agents allegedly presented scenarios, outlining how the newly discovered evidence connected Durk to moments surrounding King Von's final activities. Sources claim the tone was firm, bordering on a warning: cooperate fully, or face consequences that could have wide-reaching effects. Durk's team, according to insider accounts, listened intently, weighing every word. Every facial expression, every pause, every gesture became a subject of speculation outside the room. Social media users immediately latched onto rumored statements and subtle signs, posting in real time as the confrontation unfolded. Even beyond the confrontation, the ripple effects were massive. Allegedly, rival crews and industry insiders began reevaluating their own positions, as the news of federal involvement created uncertainty throughout the community. Speculation about alliances, betrayals, and long-standing feuds intensified. Fans and journalists alike began to map connections, theorizing about the potential impact of the FBI's breakthrough on both Lil Durk's career and the broader narrative surrounding King Von. Each theory gained traction. Every post sparked debate, and the frenzy seemed unstoppable. The night concluded, but the impact lingered. Allegedly, Durk and his team regrouped, discussing next steps, analyzing the possible outcomes, and preparing for what could be a long and unpredictable series of events. Meanwhile, the online world continued its relentless analysis, magnifying every piece of information, whether verified or speculative. Memes, reaction videos, and debate threads multiplied by the hour, keeping fans glued to screens. The combination of federal scrutiny, public fascination, and the unresolved tension surrounding King Von created a storm of attention that seemed impossible to calm by the early hours of the morning. It became clear this confrontation was not just a legal matter, it was a cultural moment. Lil Durk's every move, every statement, every post would be analyzed under the microscope of public attention. The streets, the internet, and the hip-hop community at large were all now watching, waiting, and speculating about what would happen next. One thing was certain: the breakthrough in the King Von case, coupled with the FBI's direct confrontation, had forever changed the narrative. And no one involved or observing would forget its night anytime soon. The morning after the confrontation carried a heavy, almost surreal weight over Chicago and the hip-hop community. Word of the FBI's direct engagement with Lil Durk had spread like wildfire, turning social media into a storm of speculation, analysis, and heated debate. Fans were dissecting every angle, replaying interviews, lyrics, and old footage for clues, trying to find connections to King Von that might explain the sudden federal interest. Every move Durk had made in the public eye, every song, every post, every appearance was now being scrutinized under a new lens. And the tension surrounding the story only seemed to escalate with each passing hour. Behind closed doors, Lil Durk's team faced the difficult task of strategizing. Attorneys, publicists, and close associates reportedly gathered immediately after the FBI meeting to review the evidence presented. assess potential vulnerabilities, and prepare for what could be a prolonged legal battle. According to insiders, there was a sense of urgency in the room. The FBI's breakthrough had introduced variables that no one could have fully anticipated. For months, Durk's team had managed narratives and media coverage carefully. But now federal scrutiny had entered a completely new dimension. Discussions weren't just about public perception anymore. They were about mitigating potential legal consequences, ensuring the safety of those involved, and navigating a path that could preserve both career and personal freedom. Outside the walls of these private meetings, the public response was immediate and unrelenting. News outlets scrambled to cover every angle of the story, often relying on insider accounts and anonymous tips. Headlines screamed about federal investigations, the possible involvement of high-profile associates, and unexplored links to King Von's tragic death. Social media platforms, as expected, were ablaze. Analysts, bloggers, and fans created detailed timelines connecting events from years past to the present situation, theorizing that some long-overlooked details were now critical to the investigation. Memes, reaction videos, and discussions multiplied by the hour, creating a viral narrative that only amplified the pressure on Lil Durk. Rival crews and industry players were reportedly taking note of the situation as well. Sources indicate that some were quietly reassessing alliances and evaluating the possible fallout of the FBI's involvement. Questions about loyalty, trust, and prior knowledge began circulating in private channels and encrypted messaging apps, showing that the ripple effects extended far beyond the immediate public sphere. Durk's position, already scrutinized for years, was now tested in a completely new way. The uncertainty surrounding the investigation fueled speculation about possible cooperation agreements, testimonies, or undisclosed communications. Every rumor became a topic of intense debate, often blurring the line between verified information and conjecture. Meanwhile, Lil Durk's own strategy reportedly involved a careful balancing act. Maintaining public composure while privately addressing legal realities was no easy task. Sources close to him describe long nights reviewing correspondence, evaluating statements, and coordinating with legal experts who specialized in federal investigations. Every message posted online, every interview given, every lyric released had to be weighed against the possibility of further legal scrutiny. Even the smallest misstep could be magnified under the spotlight of the FBI's breakthrough, meaning that strategic restraint became as important as defensive preparation. Fans, meanwhile, continued to dissect lyrics and social media interactions, searching for any hint that might explain the timing of the FBI's confrontation. Some pointed to previous collaborations or feuds as potential catalysts. Others analyzed cryptic messages from months or even years prior, all to create a sense of understanding of the broader context. The online debate was not just idle chatter, it became a living chronicle of public perception, influencing narratives even before facts were fully verified. Each theory, whether plausible or contributed to the tension surrounding the investigation and heightened the stakes for Lil Durk and his associates. Inside the legal and personal strategy sessions, tensions reportedly ran high. Attorneys emphasized caution and the importance of precise responses, while publicists focused on controlling the narrative in ways that could minimize public backlash. The team reportedly analyzed every conceivable scenario: cooperation with federal authorities, denial of involvement, or strategic silence, considering how each might affect both the case and Lil Durk's career. Experts suggest that the approach to such high-profile federal scrutiny requires meticulous planning, careful messaging, and an understanding of both legal and public dynamics, a task that can overwhelm even the most seasoned artists. Despite the controlled efforts within Durk's team, the surrounding chaos only intensified. Social media speculation collided with traditional media reporting, creating a feedback loop that amplified anxiety and confusion. Fans and observers debated possible outcomes endlessly, trying to connect dots between past incidents and the current federal breakthrough. Meanwhile, the streets of Chicago reflected this tension, with conversations in neighborhoods, local radio, and informal gatherings echoing the uncertainty seen online. The combination of real-world stakes and virtual frenzy created a uniquely volatile environment that seemed to challenge anyone involved with, or connected to Lil Durk. As the day progressed, one thing became clear: the FBI's breakthrough wasn't just a temporary development. It marked the beginning of a sustained period of scrutiny, analysis, and speculation. For Lil Durk, the task was no longer just about maintaining fame or relevance. It was about navigating the intricate intersection of federal investigation, public attention, and personal loyalty. Every decision, public statement, and private action could have far-reaching consequences. And the atmosphere surrounding him was now charged with the weight of history, anticipation, and uncertainty as the investigation deepened. New layers of complexity began to emerge, revealing connections and potential angles that had previously been buried beneath years of public speculation. Insiders report that the FBI's breakthrough included a detailed review of communications, financial records, and digital interactions materials that could offer unprecedented insight into relationships and circumstances surrounding King Von's case. While exact details remain confidential, sources suggest that investigators were particularly interested in patterns of association, movements during critical timelines, and exchanges that might link Lil Durk or his associates to events that had, until now, remained opaque. This level of scrutiny sent immediate ripples throughout both the music industry and street-level communities, causing panic in circles that had long operated with a sense of relative invisibility. The public's reaction, as expected, was explosive. News outlets struggled to balance sensational headlines with factual reporting, and social media became a non-stop hub of commentary. Fans dissected every post, lyric, or public appearance for hidden meanings, while skeptics questioned the motives behind the timing of the FBI's actions. The intrigue was compounded by the perception that this investigation could mark a pivotal turning point in the ongoing narratives surrounding Lil Durk and King Von. Online debates spanned multiple platforms and communities, from dedicated hip-hop forums to mainstream social media, with each user contributing their theories and proofs. Analysts noted that the frenzy was unlike anything seen in years, demonstrating how federal involvement in a high-profile case can transform public discourse almost instantaneously. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Lil Durk's legal team reportedly worked tirelessly to contain potential damage. Sources indicate that attorneys were combing through every element of the FBI's evidence, anticipating questions, challenges, and potential confrontations. The process required meticulous attention to detail. Every message, social media post, and recorded conversation was being reviewed for implications. Advisors emphasized the importance of strategic communication, both publicly and privately, to avoid missteps that could exacerbate the legal pressure. In addition, crisis management experts reportedly guided the artist's team on controlling media narratives, addressing rumors, and mitigating reputational damage, all while respecting the boundaries imposed by federal investigation protocols. The personal toll on Lil Durk was evident. Close sources describe a heightened sense of vigilance, with the artist reportedly re-evaluating his interactions, public appearances, and even personal safety measures. Friends and associates were instructed to remain cautious, aware that any perceived misstep could be interpreted as relevant to the investigation. The convergence of public attention, legal scrutiny, and personal stress created a pressure cooker environment, one that tested not only Durk's resilience, but also the loyalty and judgment of those closest to him. Navigating this landscape required careful balancing, where even minor miscalculations could have magnified consequences. Industry insiders also weighed in, noting that the case could have long-term implications for collaborations, record deals, and broader business ventures. Music executives, managers, and collaborators were reportedly reconsidering plans that might expose them to unwanted attention or association with ongoing federal scrutiny. Even sponsors and brand partners were assessing their involvement, emphasizing how an investigation of this nature can ripple outward, affecting not just the immediate parties, but also extended networks of professional and personal connections. The stakes, according to experts, extended far beyond immediate legal outcomes, potentially influencing career trajectories, financial opportunities, and public perception for years to come. The cultural impact of the investigation was also significant. King Von's legacy, always a subject of intense attention, was now being revisited under the lens of federal inquiry. Fans debated how the investigation could affect the narrative surrounding Von's death, while commentators speculated on potential revelations about undisclosed relationships, alliances, or rivalries. The case transformed into more than a legal matter. Became a focal point for broader discussions about loyalty, accountability, and the intersections of fame, street culture, and law enforcement. Analysts noted that the story highlighted ongoing tensions in the music industry, where personal histories, creative expression, and public perception collide in unpredictable ways, amidst the whirlwind of public speculation. Durk's strategic silence on certain fronts became a point of discussion. Some viewed it as prudent, reflecting awareness of the legal stakes, while others interpreted it as an indication of concern or vulnerability. Observers noted that in high-profile investigations, every word, gesture, or absence could be interpreted as evidence or insight, a dynamic that intensified the pressure on Lil Durk and his team. Each decision carried the potential for amplification, and the balance between transparency and discretion became a delicate and critical consideration, even outside the immediate circles of music and media. The case prompted commentary from legal experts and criminologists, many of whom analyzed patterns of investigation, evidence collection, and procedural approach. Their analyses, often shared publicly through interviews, articles, or social media, added further depth to the discourse, providing perspectives that bridged public curiosity and professional insight. The attention demonstrated how a federal investigation involving a high-profile figure can transform into a nationwide conversation, drawing in audiences far beyond the usual fan base. By the time the third day of public scrutiny had arrived, it was evident that the case had already begun to reshape narratives around both Lil Durk and King Von. Every development, leak, or speculation contributed to a growing mosaic of uncertainty, where legal strategy, public perception, and cultural impact intertwined in complex ways. While the investigation was far from over, the events of the past days had already left an indelible mark on the hip-hop community and beyond, highlighting the profound influence that federal scrutiny can exert when it intersects with fame, legacy, and unresolved questions. As the investigation into Lil Durk continued, the intensity of scrutiny escalated to unprecedented levels. Sources close to the matter revealed that the FBI had expanded its review beyond digital communications, now incorporating financial transactions, travel logs, and third-party communications that could potentially establish patterns of association relevant to King Von's case. Each day brought fresh revelations, and insiders described the operation as meticulous and relentless, with agents piecing together timelines, cross-referencing statements, and analyzing connections that had long flown under the radar. This methodical approach created an atmosphere of heightened tension in both Durk's inner circle and the broader hip-hop community, where even minor rumors could trigger massive online debates. Legal experts suggest that the scope of federal investigations like this often extends far beyond the immediate parties involved. Any individual who had recurring interactions with Lil Durk or King Von, whether through business, social connections, or creative collaboration, could potentially become relevant to the inquiry. In practical terms, this meant that Durk's team had to operate under extreme caution, managing not only his own communications, but also advising associates and collaborators on how to navigate interactions that could later be scrutinized. The ripple effects were already apparent. Social media discussions became hyperanalyzed, and public appearances were strategically planned to minimize exposure while maintaining a presence in the cultural spotlight. Meanwhile, the personal impact on Lil Durk continued to grow. Close sources reported that the artist had become increasingly circumspect, avoiding public venues and limiting interactions to a tight circle of trusted advisors. Security measures were reportedly enhanced, with additional precautions around digital privacy, travel, and in-person meetings. The strain was not only legal but deeply personal. The need to balance career demands, creative expression, and personal safety created a constant state of vigilance. Friends and collaborators described a shift in dynamics, noting that conversations were now measured, interactions carefully vetted, and every action weighed against potential implications for the ongoing investigation. The public response intensified with each new report. News outlets continued to issue updates, with headlines emphasizing both the gravity of federal scrutiny and the historical significance of King Von's case. Social media platforms became hubs for speculation, with fans and commentators offering theories ranging from logistical analysis of timelines to interpretation of lyrics and public statements. Analysts noted that the level of engagement was extraordinary, reflecting not only interest in the legal matter itself, but also broader cultural investment in the narratives surrounding Lil Durk and King Von. In many ways, the investigation had evolved into a cultural phenomenon, drawing attention far beyond traditional hip-hop circles. Industry insiders weighed in, highlighting the potential long-term consequences for Durk's professional endeavors. With the FBI actively investigating, business partners, record labels, and potential collaborators faced difficult decisions. Some chose to pause ongoing projects or reconsider future plans, citing the uncertainty of association with an artist under federal scrutiny. Even brand partnerships and sponsorships were reportedly being reevaluated, as companies weighed reputational risk against potential opportunities. The financial and creative ripple effects were a stark reminder of how legal issues intersect with the entertainment industry, where public perception and legal standing can significantly impact career trajectories. Cultural commentators also highlighted the broader implications of the case. King Von's legacy, always a point of intense discussion, was now revisited under the lens of federal investigation. Fans debated how potential revelations could reshape narratives about his death, associations, and influence within the hip-hop community. Conversations about loyalty, responsibility, and the intersection of street culture with fame gained renewed urgency, as the case brought these themes to the forefront of public discourse. Social media trends reflected this, with hashtags and discussion threads proliferating as fans, journalists, and analysts tried to contextualize every new development behind the scenes. Durk's legal team reportedly employed a multi-layered strategy, addressing the immediate concerns of the FBI investigation while simultaneously managing broader public relations. Sources suggest that attorneys coordinated closely with communications advisors to control messaging, clarify rumors, and minimize potential misinterpretations. Every statement, social media post, and public appearance was scrutinized for legal implications, reflecting the careful balancing act required in high-profile federal investigations. The aim was to maintain strategic discretion while protecting the artist's reputation and minimizing risks. Security and personal safety remained a paramount concern. Insiders noted that Durk's team had implemented advanced security protocols, ranging from enhanced digital encryption to physical protection measures, These steps were designed not only to protect against potential threats, but also to ensure that sensitive communications remained confidential. This level of vigilance underscored the seriousness with which the investigation was being treated, highlighting the intersection of legal, personal, and professional considerations in high-stakes cases. By the end of the fourth week of public scrutiny, the situation had transformed into a delicate balancing act. Every interaction, public statement, and appearance carried weight, while the broader hip-hop community, media, and fans watched closely. Analysts noted that the case had already begun reshaping public perceptions, illustrating how federal investigations can influence not only immediate legal outcomes, but also long-term cultural narratives. Lil Durk's ability to navigate this complex landscape would be a defining factor in both his personal and professional trajectory. As the world awaited the next wave of revelations and potential consequences as the weeks unfolded, the intensity surrounding Lil Durk's situation reached unprecedented levels. Sources confirmed that the FBI had not only expanded its review of financial records and communications, but was now actively pursuing new leads linked directly to King Von's final interactions. The federal investigation had transformed into a multifaceted operation, with agents meticulously tracing every connection, message, and transaction. According to insiders, the scope was so expansive that even casual associates or peripheral contacts were being evaluated, signaling a thorough and strategic effort to piece together a complete picture of the circumstances surrounding Von's death and Durk's potential involvement. RapShock, one of the leading sources in hip-hop investigative reporting, had been tracking the developments closely. In their latest coverage, they highlighted exclusive insights from unnamed insiders, revealing not only the scale of the federal scrutiny, but also how the investigation was influencing internal dynamics within the OTF crew and Durk's personal circle. RapShock emphasized that while the public was primarily focused on dramatic headlines, the reality was far more complex, involving layers of legal, personal, and creative considerations that intersected with the ongoing inquiry. The coverage also suggested that Durk's team was in constant consultation with legal advisors to anticipate potential moves by the FBI and mitigate risks wherever possible. Public reaction to these revelations was intense and unrelenting. Fans, commentators, and social media influencers dissected every possible implication, from Durk's past collaborations to lyrics that were now being scrutinized under a new lens. RapShock's reporting underscored the scale of misinformation circulating online, cautioning audiences about relying solely on speculation. Still, the frenzy demonstrated the cultural weight of the case. This wasn't just a legal issue, but a moment that reverberated across hip-hop communities worldwide. Every post, video, and story sparked debates, memes, and trending hashtags, reflecting both genuine concern and the voracious appetite for updates in an environment where rumor and reality often collided. Meanwhile, insiders described Lil Durk as maintaining a careful balance between public appearances and private preparation. Security protocols were heightened, digital communications monitored, and interactions limited to a trusted inner circle. Sources suggested that his creative output was being approached with caution, ensuring that any lyrics, statements, or collaborations could not be misinterpreted or legally compromised. The meticulous nature of these preparations highlighted the seriousness with which the team treated both the federal investigation and the artist's public image. RapShock, in particular, pointed out that this level of strategic planning was critical. Given the potential consequences of missteps in a high-profile case, financial scrutiny also became a major focus. The FBI reportedly traced payments, transfers, and business arrangements, seeking to identify patterns or anomalies connected to King Von's case. Advisors to Durk were said to be coordinating with accountants, financial analysts, and legal experts to ensure full compliance and accurate documentation. RapShock's reporting noted that these precautions were not just reactive. They were proactive measures designed to prevent inadvertent errors that could be interpreted as evidence. Such transparency was essential in a case that combined criminal scrutiny with high-stakes public attention. And the level of diligence reflected both the complexity of the investigation and the stakes involved. The cultural ripple effect of the investigation was equally significant. RapShock highlighted that discussions about loyalty, responsibility, and accountability were dominating forums and social media platforms. Fans debated what the unfolding revelations could mean for King Von's legacy, for Lil Durk's career, and for the broader hip-hop ecosystem. Analysts suggested that the case might set new precedents for how artists navigate legal challenges while maintaining their brand and influence, showing the intricate balance between public perception and private legal realities. Meanwhile, speculation continued to surge regarding the potential outcomes. Some legal experts interviewed by RapShock emphasized that federal investigations of this magnitude rarely conclude quickly. Agents meticulously build cases, corroborate evidence, and validate every lead, meaning that the process could extend over months or even years. For Lil Durk, this reality meant prolonged uncertainty, with every move scrutinized both legally and culturally. RapShock stressed that while rumors and sensational headlines dominated daily news cycles, the underlying investigation remained methodical, deliberate, and far-reaching. Finally, insiders suggested that the ongoing scrutiny had sparked internal reflection among Durk and his team. Every decision, from creative output to public interaction, was weighed against potential implications for the investigation. RapShock's coverage highlighted that this level of strategic foresight was rare, underscoring the seriousness of the federal attention and the broader implications for both Durk and those closely associated with him. As fans, commentators, and industry professionals continued to monitor the situation, one thing was clear: the developments were reshaping narratives, alliances, and the cultural dialogue around Lil Durk, King Von, and the intricate realities of fame under federal investigation. RapShock concluded its latest update by noting that while much remained unknown, the combination of federal scrutiny, public pressure, and cultural significance ensured that Lil Durk's next moves would be watched with unparalleled intensity. Every revelation, statement, or legal development could tip the balance, shaping not only immediate outcomes but also long-term legacies. As the story continued to unfold, RapShock remained committed to providing accurate, in-depth coverage, ensuring that fans and observers could separate fact from speculation. In one of hip-hop's most high-profile ongoing investigations, don't miss a single update on this explosive story. Lil Durk's situation is escalating fast, and the latest FBI developments could change everything fans thought they knew about King Von's case. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know every shocking twist, exclusive insight, and behind-the-scenes detail. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Lil Durk will be able to clear his name, or is this the beginning of a deeper fallout? Stay tuned to RapShock for real-time updates, insider reports, and expert analysis you won't find anywhere else. Every development matters, and this story is far from over. Make sure you're part of the conversation and join thousands of fans dissecting every revelation. Click, like, share, and subscribe now to stay connected with the drama, the facts, and the culture surrounding one of hip-hop's most intense legal battles.